tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces of you. Tearing out.
And welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with me. Sorry, I've been trying to shift and move, but every time I get the position right, the sun shifts too. So I'm either too dark or too bright. I don't know. But here we are. So today's video, we are going to talk about how to process trauma. This is something that everybody deals with. Every single person walking this planet has had some form of trauma. Okay, being born is a traumatic experience. Okay, now it can be less traumatizing depending on the setting, but most of the time being born is not always a peaceful, serene experience, but just the process of being moved from the safety and the comfort, the warmth and the serenity of your mother's womb into a world having to learn how to function all over again is very traumatizing. Okay, so even if it's just for that event, we all have dealt with some trauma. Okay, now there's a couple of different ways, and depending on your level of trauma, some of these points may help you, some of they may not. Of course, if you have your own tips on how to process trauma that you've dealt with in your own personal experience, feel free to comment below. Help other people grow and work through it, because I don't know everything. I can't share everything, so it always helps when each one teach one, right? So, first things first, recognizing that you have trauma that needs to be dealt with. So many people feel that there's some circumstances that are not that traumatic, right? Now, I can tell stories of being punished with an extension cord or being beat with the belt when I was younger. Some people may just say that's just the punishment you got. Some people may feel that's extremely traumatic, okay? Understand and understand that everyone has different levels of trauma. So, you cannot invalidate anyone else's trauma. You cannot tell them that's not a traumatic experience. What do you mean? Right? Some people may feel that watching TV and seeing someone get shot on TV or playing a video game isn't traumatizing. Other people may take it to heart, right? I'm one of those people. Okay? Since I've had a lot of time on my hands, I've been watching a little bit more secular TV. Recently, I've been watching Grey's Anatomy at my daughter's suggestion. And, it has 18 seasons, by the way. And a lot of those things in the storyline is traumatic. And I found myself being connected and pulled into the characters. But then I would go to sleep at night and I'd be dreaming about it. And I'm like, wait, nope, too attached. I gotta switch it up, right? I can't watch no more than 4-5 episodes. That's not something you can binge watch, right? I can process it that way. Someone else may have seen it and just been like, oh my God, that was so traumatizing, because it may trigger something else that's going in their life. So recognizing the trauma you have in your life is the first step to processing, healing, and dealing with it, okay? The next step and the best step is talking it out. Now, if you can find someone who is unbiased and will listen to you to help you work through your traumatic experiences, by all means have that. If not, if you feel that it's easier for you just to talk it out with yourself, right? There's some people that will sit and record themselves, or they'll get a voice recorder and just talk things out, right? Going through that is very helpful, because you're giving the trauma room to air out. Okay, you're not keeping it pent up inside. You're giving it room to breathe so that you can get it off your chest, so to say, right? Normally when something bothers you and you speak about it, right, whether you word vomit it out, it feels better, because it's no longer the pressure building up inside of you, right? It's like a kettle that's getting ready to boil and boil and boil, right? It has to release that pressure through steam, right? That whistle that it gives off. Okay, it's the same way as the trauma. So talk it out. Whether you have someone that's unbiased, and that's important. You can't go and talk to someone who doesn't believe that your experiences are traumatic, or someone that's not healed themselves, okay? So a professional, if not a professional, then just a friend, that's fine, who can sit and listen to you, right? Or you can talk to me, because Ascending Infinite Goddess, I am here for all of that, okay? My mental healing sessions bring fruition. It bears fruit. You will not be going years and not have any assistance, because I give you tangible tips to help work it out, okay, to push it through. So talking it out with someone or on your own, if you can handle that, is so beneficial, is so healing, okay? Next step on dealing with your trauma, hypnosis. Sometimes when you have a traumatic experience, you will block it out. I know there's some things I've gone through in my life that I blocked out, that I was like, I can't think about this. I can't deal with this. I don't want to have this memory of this thing. So I'm going to block it out. And then something will happen and I'll be like, I think that happened to me. I have a memory of this. What is going on? Right? I'm not going to share that here, but I've had that happen and I was like, oh, snap. And going through not past life regression but regression, memory regression, or going in hypnosis where you're in a sedated state, and with the professional, certain words can be asked, certain phrases and sentences can help bring back those memories, right? Not something that's being implanted in you, but these are real life memories that you're having but you've suppressed, because your mind will suppress it so that you can function. Okay, that's a lot of people who have PTSD go through that as well. They sometimes suppress their anguish or their despair until something happens and it triggers them, and then they're like, oh crap, right? Post traumatic stress, they're living with it. So with trauma, okay, if it's after the fact and you've never quite dealt with it and your mind is trying to protect you, it will suppress certain events so you don't have to keep going through that pain, so you can live your life, okay? Another way on how to deal with trauma is through meditation. Deep healing breathing meditation. And I found that meditation combined with sound baths. So sound baths are when you're encompassed in sounds, all right? The sound envelops you, all right? I found that deep meditation, breathing through your meditation and having the sound bath, and then if you are already aware of what your trauma is, you can meditate on that. Oh, wow. The beautiful hummingbird. Hummingbirds are so significant. They're small, but they're mighty, and they're beautiful, and they always represent healing for me, right? Positivity. So it's funny that this hummingbird came and flew now. But uh yes, meditation with the sound bath and with breathing, you can focus on the traumatic events. You can go back to that event and you can right the wrong, so to say. So if you were, if you are experiencing, let's say that you were abused and you want to stand up to your abuser, right? And you were abused when you were young and you couldn't do anything back then, but now you can. You can go into a meditation, envision yourself when it's happening. Your abuser is coming to you. You can stand up to them and tell them no. No, we're not doing this. This is not what's happening. I say no. I'm taking back my power. I no longer relinquish my power to you. I am righting this wrong. Okay? You can talk to that energy of that person at that point in time, and it will help you heal with your trauma. It works. Okay? It works if you're at that point. Okay? The second way on how, or not the second, but another way on how to deal with your trauma is art therapy. Sometimes drawing the experience, because you can't talk about it, you may not want to envision it and live it, but you can draw something that represents it. Drawing it out, doing art therapy, or molding it into a sculpture can help heal the trauma, because again, it's all about exercising the energy, right? You want to excise it. You want to get it out of you. You need this trauma to come out of you, okay? So art therapy is really, really good because it's allowing you to create the trauma in a space that is more calming, okay? It's more healing, all right? You no longer see it as this horrible, dark, ugly thing. You can, even if you paint all black, or you won't use only gray clay. Even if there's no color in it, it's still an artistic way to excise this traumatic energy from your body. Okay. An- Another way on how to sorry, these animals are wild today. They're probably hot and crazy like me. Another way on how to deal with your trauma is medication. Now, I'm not telling you to go to a doctor and get a prescription, right? That's not always the answer. If it is the answer for you, then by all means, please do. But there are healing plant medicines that you can use to help calm some of these traumatic experiences. The same effects of Valium and this hummingbird is just so beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so scattered today, but that's another way on how I process my trauma. Sometimes I get scattered brain. Um, but uh, ayahuasca, CBD, marijuana, they all have mugwort. They all have calming effects, right? These prescription medications get their properties from plants, and then the pharmacies just add additional chemicals to it to make it more potent. Okay, that's all it is. Just like aspirin, it comes from a tree, white willow bark. All right, and it is add other chemicals to it to go and sell it on the shelf. All right, so please understand that sometimes you can just go to the source. All right, you don't always need to get a prescription. If you do need a prescription, please get it. All right, don't shrug things off. But these plant medicines can be very beneficial. And tobacco in its natural form is also very calming and relaxing. Okay, without the nicotine, right? Not a cigarette, but tobacco in its natural form is really good as well for clearing your mind and having a calming effect over you. All right, and then lastly, something else that I've done to help process trauma. People, or it works better with people, but certain situations that have happened in your life that have caused trauma to you, if you write about it, if you write it out, you can write the person a letter, or you can write in your journal. You can make a short story of it, but writing it out really helps getting the message out, because again, we just need to get this energy out of your body. Okay, writing it out, reading it, burning it symbolically has a feeling connected to it of you're gone, right? You're banished, you're released. Fire is a destroyer and a cleanser. Okay, so that is all that I have for you today. I'm gonna go watch this hummingbird, right, as it plays with my flowers. It's so beautiful. I wish you all could see it. But that is all that I have for you today, wealthy family. I love and appreciate you all. Shout out to everybody who has already purchased their ticket to the Lionsgate meditation. It is still on sale. The link is below in the description. You can find it on my website, www.ascendinginfinitegoddess. This is a beautiful way to walk through a portal and a gateway, leave some of our traumas behind, and walk into a new dimensional version of ourselves. Okay? Until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.